Live from London, it's Plank of the Week with Mike Graham.
Good evening and welcome to Plank of the Week. I'm Mike Graham and this, of course, is talkTV. It's the home of common sense, and there has been so much plankery this week that we've had to get a special, really reconstructed plank in to actually count everybody on and count everybody off. And we've got an amazing panel. One of the star-studded ones. Jeremy Carl returns.
Hurrah!
Good to see you. Will Geddes is back. Samara Gill, we haven't seen you for a while. Nice to see you. Lovely dress. And also Mark Wogan, of course.
Lovely dress.
You've got a lovely dress on. There's a lot of holes in that one. Let's get things going straight away because we're going straight off to Tower Hamlets.
Well, that Flaggate has been at the centre of everything that we've talked about in the last couple of weeks, and quite rightly so. It seems that almost everything about being British is not allowed nowadays.
This is Birmingham we're looking at now.
This is Birmingham. So there were problems in Birmingham, and the council came up with some pitiful excuse about you can't fly a flag
Health and
because
safety.
The pole might fall on your head and you might get damaged. It'll be a disaster. All right.
Yeah, any chance you can come and collect the rubbish? No, but you can't put the flags up either.
We're coming to take your flags down, right? But we're not picking up your rubbish.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Anyway, we fast forward to this week, and we shine a light on not only the council but the leader. Lutfar
Rahman.
That's what we're going to call him.
This
before I need to tell you this. This man looked
Is that something you eat or something you use in a shower?
I think it's something you regurgitate, to be honest. Anyway, can't look for any flags, is the mayor of Tower Hamlets. I need to tell you this. He was actually done for election fraud 10 years ago in 2015.
Nice.
Found guilty of election fraud, not allowed to stand for 5 years, but somehow has weaseled his way back in and is now in charge of Tower Hamlets Council, who announced this week, because there's this Operation Flag Raise across the country. People are saying, why can't we be proud of Britain? There's so much to be depressed about. Why can't we put the flag up? His council say, no, I don't know, I'm doing that voice. You can't do that. Fundamentally wrong. Health and safety.
I could do a Tower Hamlets accent for you, but it'd probably be called racist, so I'm not going to do it.
You're not doing that.
No.
Apparently, we can't have flagpoles up because this will be a danger to buildings that are of great interest to the people of Tower Hamlets. It is fundamentally and utterly appalling to me, as a British citizen, that council can fly Palestinian flags willy-nilly, for want of a much better phrase. But apparently, if you want to fly the British flag, the St George's flag, this will be torn down. These people are in charge of councils in our country. And a bit like all the other stories we'll do today, I've said it all week, I think the British people, because everything's more expensive and because they're struggling, have finally woken up to the fact that what is happening to our country? Why am I being ignored? And why the hell can I not do what I want to do within the confines of law?
I was driving in Tower Hamlets not that long ago,
That was brave.
It was. Well,
in the Maserati?
I was, thank you. But some guy went past me inside on the bus lane, right, in a car which didn't look like it should be in the bus lane, with the biggest Palestinian flag you've ever seen in your life, literally flying out the back of the car. Well, I was going, this is not, talk about health and safety. I don't think you can even see behind him, absolutely unbelievable.
But it's almost like there is a goal amongst officials and institutions to knock everything that I consider to be...
considered to be British.
Yes.
Right, well, wait till you see this. First up, Anthony Farrell is a man who started a business making flagpoles.
Personally, I'll fly my flag with pride, no problem. If people decide that that's racist, that's their call. But it is the country flag that we fly in our own country.
It's actually had the complete opposite effect. The leaders of Birmingham Council and the leaders of Tower Hamlets Council have woken up, I think, the British people. I was doing a live link to Harry Cole in Washington when Trump was clicking his fingers and all the Europeans were trouncing in. There were more British flags at the entrance to the White House than you're allowed to have in Tower Hamlets. Why can we not? And I get hacked off when people say, oh, they've been grabbed by the far right. That's not the reason. The reason is we are run by people who are not proud to be British. They're not proud to be anything to do with this country, and they spend the entire time knocking it. I think it's a disgrace. Plank of the week.
We're going to show you a guy who fits that very description. This is a bloke called Keir Andrews. You may have seen him before. He was on TV this week talking about the flags.
So both of these flags which you've displayed here, those are the flags which flew on ships which enslaved my ancestors. Those are the flags which the British Army marched into places like India, Pakistan, Bengal, Africa, and colonised 25% of the world. The reason the far right picks up these flags and has consistently, since the 60s, 70s, since my parents' generation have been in this country, is because these flags represent the racism which they are putting out into the world. And I would just point out, this campaign of putting these flags up, this is not some benign, let's just be patriotic. Go and search, Operation Raise the Colours, and you'll find the same far right Little England, this nonsense spewing about all the migrant hotels, it's all this. That's what that's about. People aren't putting up this flag to celebrate Britain. They're putting up this flag to remind us that Britain is white and we shouldn't be here.
He's supposedly an academic and an author. He's a professor at Birmingham University.
No surprise.
I can't
These are the people
stop.
teaching our kids.
Yeah, exactly right. That is so fundamentally wrong, isn't it?
So
my blood actually boils
Yeah.
when I see someone like him, and I just think to myself, you know what? Like you said, Jez, if you don't like this country, if you're not going to come to this country for the cultures, the opportunities, the freedoms that you will not be afforded elsewhere around the world, unless it's somewhere similar like the United States, get out, leave.
Go to the land of your
and
ancestors,
we've
if
got
you
to
wish.
embrace patriotism before we lose it.
I completely agree, and I didn't think that I would say this on this show, but I'm going to. What really hacks me off about this and immigration is very simple. We've had people coming to our country for years. I know loads of people who not only embraced it, but thanked it, appreciated it, respected it. We are now having people come to this country whose sole purpose is to destroy everything that we have.
Yeah.
If it is so bad that you need to change it, why don't you start off back to where you came from? I don't understand.
I agree.
I think it's terrible.
This is not addressed to you, obviously, because you're not from here, are you? The only person
But she's more patriotic than you.
I know she is.
But we have, of course, part of the British flag on our flag in Australia, and it's this new level of self-hatred that Britain has somehow adopted, where everything we've once stood for is apparently antithetical to now what we do. I mean, I'd love to know that professor's thoughts on the Palestinian flag and what that represents to him. I would really like to know.
And why does he want to live in a racist country? Why doesn't... I don't understand.
But you know what's so insidious?
Words.
You've seen this in Australia. You're actually having the same problem over there on Sydney Bridge, Sydney Harbour Bridge the other day. In Melbourne, there was this massive rally about we're going to introduce Sharia law. Did you hear about Austria? Allegedly, Austria has now recognised Sharia law can be practised in Austria.
In Austria?
In Austria.
I heard
this
there goes
allegedly.
the Lederhosen.
Allegedly.
Hey?
Fanny Schmeller will have a hard, difficult
now,
time.
one of the interesting things... Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, so we are in the UK, that man's on the TV speaking in the UK, and he doesn't want the UK flag flown.
Those flags.
Is there another flag he'd like? Is it like a smiley face one?
Yeah.
Like, what kind of flag does he want?
NHS flag, maybe?
I mean, because it is the national flag. You cannot get away from the fact that it's the national flag.
And this week in particular is we're going to talk about it later, obviously, but the incredible enthusiasm with which people are now embracing it all, because they're going, all right, if you're not going to let us fly flags, this is Birmingham. People started painting the cross of St George on the roundabout, right? And the council are coming out and painting over it. This is a little game of cat and mouse
But
going
no
on.
pothole filling.
Oh, no. I mean...
Hold on.
No.
Is he going to stop him?
Yeah.
Probably.
Funnily enough, people were saying, you know, maybe what you should do is start painting the potholes with the flag of St George, and then they'll come around and fix it. You know?
Michael, what I find so bizarre, and I've seen a lot of footage, I'm sure you guys have as well, is you've had some of these pro-Hamas rallies, and let's call it a spade a spade.
Yeah.
And any sort of patriot that's turned up with a St George's flag or a Union Jack or a Union flag has been stopped by the police and told, go away because this is controversial, this is potentially inciting or antagonising these pro-Hamas supporters.
But the Taliban flags are OK.
Wrong way round. Wrong way round. You know, to be honest, if they can't tolerate a Union flag or a St George's cross...
Tolerate? I would say embrace. You're living in my country. What is wrong with me having my flag out? I'm sorry. I don't buy the fact that everybody...
Bizarre.
It's a bit like the Southport riots. You're going to label everybody as far right.
You get your flag out.
Well, you keep your flag to yourself at the moment.
I'm not judging your poll, that's for sure.
Please don't wave your flag in public.
Yes. Anyway, Mr. Will Geddes, over to you.
Well, thank you, sir.
Ricky Jones.
You know what? It's a close call because I have to say, Jeremy, you get my vote for Plank of the Week, but Ricky Jones, where should we start with this failed Labour councillor?
Labour councillor, now independent, they tell us.
Oh, yeah, because he was kicked out by the Labour Party.
But the investigation's still going on, though.
Of course it
they
will.
Haven't worked out, even though he's been
afraid of a nice latte.
Yes,
exactly. This clown, let's compare this to Lucy Connolly, who put a misguided tweet up but then deleted it.
Yeah.
He actually says, cut your throat. He was arrested, basically, for inciting violence. He ultimately then went to court.
Yeah.
The jury
he pleaded not guilty, didn't he? That's the difference.
He pleaded not guilty. He said that his words were misinterpreted.
Yeah.
Right. And then the jury deliberated for 30 minutes. And the judge, let's have a look at the judge. So the judge basically is a lovely lady who's a hardline Labour voter. Forgive me, I'm going to go to her details, because they're quite extensive.
Yeah.
She's also a diversity and community relations judge, which means she pushes DEI outcomes in trials.
Yes, she is.
Now, until recently, she was an active member of the Sentencing Council, which demands lighter sentences for women, Muslims and black people.
Great.
And what was Ricky
Why doesn't
Jones?
she just not be a judge? Maybe that would be easier for her, you know, and actually do something else. But Rosa Dean, let's have a quick look at what Ricky Jones actually did say.
They are disgusting, nasty bastards, and we need to cull their throats and get rid of them all. I just want to say thank you all. I'm going to leave it now. And free, Palestine, free, Palestine.
You know what surprises me? I think the
wrong
only
with these
fight this
people?
guy could ever get into is with type 2 diabetes.
Yeah.
And that's about it. I mean, really, this guy is...
But
but you see the people around him and you think, what the hell? What's
But we
going on?
sit here and we're exasperated, and that is another judge who seems to be part of the fabric of institutionalised ideology that seems to be... We'll talk later about the one glaring moment of brilliance this week with Epping, but I just... That genuinely worries me.
Yeah.
That is so two-sided, isn't it? He can... That's a terrible thing to do.
The thing is that there is legally, and there's lots of, you know, wise kind of, you know, smart-asses on Twitter who will tell you this, barristers who say, well, the difference, of course, is that Lucy Connolly pleaded guilty. But that's not why it's a two-tier system. She was bullied into pleading guilty because she was told if she pleaded guilty, she'd stand more chance of getting released.
Yes.
And she'd stand more chance
As were
of
many
getting
other
out.
protesters in Southport.
And in fact, she's never been released ever since she was
I wish
arrested.
I'd known her case, because I'd have got her a case he would told her not to have pleaded guilty.
I know.
She wouldn't be in prison.
But you know, there's a pretty good chance if she went to a jury trial, she would have been acquitted as well.
Yeah.
And that's the difference, because he wasn't told to plead guilty.
But it just smacks of two-tier justice
No, it totally does.
in every way.
But what I'm saying is that don't listen to people who say, oh, you're an idiot, you're comparing, you know, apples and pears, because she pleaded guilty and he didn't. But the point is that she didn't need to plead guilty. She shouldn't have pleaded guilty.
And she was terrified. I mean, she was a young mother.
Because they also think it made it into a really serious charge.
Well, exactly. And she didn't know what she was pleading for, and she was trusting her professional advisors.
Isn't she about to be
basically
released?
give her
Well,
advice.
supposedly this month.
Actually, even her husband told me potentially this week. So,
You know her husband?
Yeah, I've been talking to him. But yeah, hopefully he
You think
gets
that's
out.
fair with her being in prison? That you've been talking to her?
In a purely professional capacity.
Of course, I just thought I'd drop that in.
In a journalistic...
Yeah, no, Samara. Yeah. What?
No, but they were completely out of their depth, as you say, and he even admits that. So it's really this politicisation of the justice system that really can't go on in this country because it's making it completely fall apart.
It is totally and utterly ridiculous. Anyway, over to you, Samara, with Portsmouth Council.
Oh, God, Portsmouth Council, this has ruffled a lot of feathers this week. It was revealed that essentially they were giving off 40% discounts to beach huts to asylum seekers who are occupying the town.
I mean, what do they need a beach hut for?
To stay in.
What do they need?
Is it to stay or just
so
to
that
relax
when the
for the day?
dinghy lands,
Jess,
right?
shall we go to the pub?
When the
Jeremy,
I can't do this anymore.
honestly,
A bloody beach hut. I live by the sea. They're 200 grand. But don't worry, we'll give them to the migrants. But they need them decked out. They're pretty basic. I mean, what about Sky Television?
And a PlayStation.
Yes.
Jeremy, there's more.
there's more. I mean, there was hypotherapy. I've had to write all this down because it's so bloody technical.
Right.
Hypotherapy for stress relief, because apparently not paying any of your own bills is extremely stressful.
Right.
Maybe it was that dinghy
what is
ride that they took.
hypotherapy? What is that?
Hypotherapy. I think it's like I'm not sure. Maybe massage.
It's therapy by hypo.
Are you sure it's not hydrotherapy?
Hypotherapy.
Surely, seeing as they came
reported.
across in a rubber boat, they're not going to want to go anywhere near water.
Economic irrigation.
Well, they've got the beach hut. They've got. I mean, this is ridiculous and staggering. 40% off paddle boarding, sailing, and kayaking. 50% off swimming and gym lessons, because we know there's been a lot of cases where it's like, oh, they can't swim. We need to give them
so why are they
swimming
getting a
lessons
bleeding
so they can
dinghy then, for
integrate.
Christ's sake?
I know exactly. They were fine enough to cross the channel. I think they're fine enough not to have those swimming
Bargain
lessons.
based table tennis, though.
50% off table tennis and climbing, 40% off learning about D-Day. I think they've done their own D-Day on us.
Yeah,
That's
D-Day
all.
landings,
I don't think they need to learn about it.
Although I can see that there might be some logic to giving them a beach hut, because, you know, when they land the dinghy on the beach, rather than having to wait around for a coach, they could take a few hours in the beach hut and maybe get served some pizzas and sandwiches. They could order some Deliveroo maybe from one of their mates down the road who's got a free moped, And, that's the beginning of their transition into being British.
I mean, you're being sarcastic, Mike, but that is basically the internal mind of a lot of these sycophantic people that run the country. They do think, how can we make it cushy enough for them?
But are those very same people, this is me being at my most serious, have they not gathered yet that the British people in their millions are literally at the end of their bleeding tether?
This is apparently they've also got, wait for it, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yes.
Which apparently is that.
Yeah,
I perked up at the word Brazilian.
Sorry, hello? Maybe that's how your next phone's going to get stolen.
They don't look Brazilian.
I mean, maybe let's look at a bigger picture. We've got a lot of fighting age males coming into this country. Oh, and we're teaching them combat sports.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
that's
next will be shooting.
Yeah, be shooting range next. Yeah.
But this is also the week we should mention it because I think this is the time to do it. Is the Epping story, right?
Yeah,
the amazing story from Epping, where the council there finally said enough is enough. We're not having any more migrants in the Bell Hotel, and they took the British government to court, the Home Office to court, and they won. A fantastic victory, which means it's a great precedent because it means that all of these migrant hotels now have actually breached their planning rules because they're no longer operational as hotels. Awesome. So every single migrant hotel now can be shut down.
Brilliant. Mike made a really good point on the show when we launched this, when we broke this yesterday on Drive, didn't we? That actually individuals now, wealthy individuals or individuals, not necessarily councils, who've got a problem with it and maybe can get legal aid or whatever it is. I thought it was absolutely seminal yesterday. I thought it was because the Labour Party have been going, we want to get these people out, these migrants out of hotels. Well, that's what you told the electorate. So now what? Social housing? What about people who are renting, being pushed out in the streets? Yeah. Broxbourne Council within 30 seconds launched it. I think this is absolutely massive. And I think the British people yesterday in Epping went, oh, God, actually, yes, our voice. Somebody said a great quote. I gave it to you yesterday. When the silent majority start to believe their voice is heard, a government's in trouble.
Yeah, they really are.
Right. The other thing that worries me is Serco, obviously, who's got this contract for rehousing them, and that they have got this really active direct marketing going to all landlords to say, basically, we can take your property for up to 3, 4, 5 years, and here's the incentive, we'll pay you in advance.
Oh, yeah, well, down in Portsmouth, we spoke to a Portsmouth councillor this week. They've discovered that they've got something like 22 houses which have been recommissioned as HMOs, and they're going to be renting, or not renting them, giving them, basically, to a couple of hundred migrants.
Yeah. But this is the interesting thing. So there's a friend of mine, he's recently found himself without a home. He's worked all his life. He is hardworking. He pays all his taxes. He has a CCJ because of a parking fine that he didn't pay.
Right. Yeah.
He cannot get approved to rent a house.
What?
That's outrageous, isn't it?
Well, just get a dinghy ride from Calais. That's what I'd do.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we're all rejoicing, but it's still absolutely egregious that it had to get to that point with the Bell Hotel. I mean, 2 sexual assaults, people were charged, that's still going on. That's the level it had to get to in order for us to then have to fight for our own freedoms.
And
it's ridiculous.
even at that, the government tried to block it.
Yes.
In the last minute, they took out an action to try and stop the judge
And you couldn't in any way have called that far right. This was mothers predominantly saying, I'm concerned that my teenage daughter, there was alleged sexual assault, as you said, this is next to a school, this is fundamentally dangerous and wrong. And all those people for years have gone, well, that's very racist. No, I just say to them every day, have you got a teenage daughter?
Yeah.
You haven't, have you?
Yeah.
I've got a teenage daughter. I think the people of Epping, absolutely fantastic. I think there will be an absolute, it'll go everywhere
watershed moment, definitely.
Good.
Absolutely.
That was the word I was looking for.
Indeed.
Yes.
Over to you, Mr. Wogan. A bit of lip reading for you.
Oh.
Yeah, well, so this is a great
enthusiastic as ever.
Well, no, this is a great example of people not really understanding the tech that they're using.
Yes.
So MP Mike Reader, he was on a train, right? And there is a app that they use that collates all their sort of constituents' letters and all that sort of thing, right?
Right.
So he's got that open on the train. And then what he's doing is he's cutting and pasting the letters into ChatGPT and going, reply to that.
And he got caught.
Yeah.
Everything you put into ChatGPT, if you've got an account attributed to it, it's going to start building a digital mosaic of who you are.
Right.
And if you put in any identifiers or names,
it at all.
If you put those names and identifiers in, so if he was using constituents' names, what's going to happen is, if I do a search against one of those constituent names, that's going to be part of those findings which will have been aggregated against them.
Right.
So this is the thing you've got to watch out for. Don't put personal identifiers into ChatGPT or any other AI.
I wouldn't even.
I mean, do you use it for anything, Samara?
Do I? No, I mean, I'm not really the biggest fan of it, but as I said, it just shows that they really don't care about anything. I mean, I was talking to an MP on the phone this week,
It's just stupid, yeah.
I was asking about a couple of the stories of what's going on at Epping Hotel, and he said, you know what? I just don't care anymore. He's pretty high-profile MP. He said, I'm more worried about planning my wife's anniversary dinner, sorry, and then just hung up the phone. And I'm just like, excuse me, our taxpayer dollars are going into paying you. The ChatGPT is being used to respond to things. Yeah. There's no actual insight into how to make the country a better place. Not to get all on my soapbox about it, but it really is part of the bigger problem. But this was just some
random MP that you called up out of the blue. It wasn't this guy, was it?
No, it wasn't. But there was a Tory MP, and he just said, I just don't care anymore.
I don't think the intelligence level of our MPs is honestly, everyone, 9 out of 10 that you interview, you come away thinking, you represent 100,000 people, or you represent all that. Really?
I know.
Really? There's nothing about you that I'm buying. There's nothing organic or genuine about your arguments or your feelings. This is all.
Yeah. Well, it's not real.
No,
the simple fact that he's putting it
this is why
it's not real.
That's why they live in a bubble. You know, it's ridiculous. Anyway, coming up, we're going to give a little mention to Richard III, who hasn't been on for a while, and also yet another council who are getting up to no good in South London. This is Plank of the Week.
Live from London, it's Plank of the Week with Mike Graham.
Welcome back to Plank of the Week. So far, we've got some very, very good ones to start off with, but I'm going to do my first one, and I did say it was going to be Richard III. For those who are watching for the first time, we're talking, of course, about Rachel Reeves, or Rachel Thieves, as she's also
Who looks like Richard III.
Who looks exactly like Richard III.
Yeah.
And the thing that I love about it now is that, you know, ever since I introduced the idea that she looked like Richard III, lots of people now just call her Richard III.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a sort of basic sort of, it's
part of the vocabulary.
I wouldn't be that surprised if in the cabinet they actually call her Richard behind her back.
Richard III was much nicer to his people, though.
Massive dick.
Yeah, he was. Thank you very much. Anyway, listen, she's been in trouble this week for all sorts of reasons, but for the first reason I'm going to give for her being a plank is that she's been forced to correct the parliamentary record. Now, normally, that's hardly ever done. You know, people will know that there's a thing called Hansard, which records everything that's said in Parliament, in speeches in the House of Commons, in the House of Lords. She was actually discussing unemployment and her flagship pension reforms, and she got all the numbers wrong, right? And so Hansard had to be completely and utterly corrected because the Treasury found out that she made several serious errors during several different sessions. In one claim, she said that £425 billion of a local government pension scheme was managed by 96 different authorities administering it. It turned out to be 86. Well, that's quite a big difference. You know? How do you get it that wrong? And she also said that there were 8 pools as part of the retirement savings industry. It turned out there were not 8 pools, there were 6 pools. You know, and it might sound trivial, but this is the business of the Chancellor.
No, it's not trivial because we're hoping and believing that the Chancellor of the Exchequer can add up and financially work out why we're in a hole.
Don't we know that she can't do that yet?
Well, she can't really, because let's not forget, she did fake her own CV. And she did write a book which was largely plagiarised. And she did claim to be a chess champion when she actually came 26th in a chess championship in South London.
Hardly Kasparov.
It's not exactly Gary Kasparov, is it? No,
exactly.
But she has got one qualification, which we're going to see now.
I'm an economist. I studied economics. I got a master's in economics from the London School of Economics, and I worked as an economist at the Bank of England. I then used that experience in the private sector, working for Halifax Bank of Scotland, where I worked in financial services before I became an MP 14 and a bit years ago.
But it was changed, wasn't it, the profile?
Well, I worked as an economist.
I mean,
do you think she worked as an economist?
I mean, desperate to make out she was an economist. She also said that she worked for the Bank of England for 10 years when she only worked for 5.
Yeah.
Which is another kind of...
Well, except the Bank of England.
Can't count.
I think she was just stuck in the stationery cupboard, wasn't she?
Yeah, well, she was...
A lot can happen in the stationery
cupboard.
So I've heard.
Yeah.
Rachel from Accounts, as she's known. And when she worked for Halifax Bank of Scotland, she was effectively a complaints analyst. And she used to answer the phone to people.
She's an uninspiring, boring, horrible-sounding boring, mediocre, useless waste of space. Like
you better watch
know
out.
where the toner's kept, though.
Yeah, she does know.
but the toner, she doesn't use it on her voice.
I think she got her degree at the Diane Abbott School
I think
of
she did,
Economics,
yeah.
didn't
And
she?
she's obviously got the same speech therapist as Keir Starmer.
They have all, they're morphed
Same way.
into... Do you think, actually, the truth is that he is her?
Yeah,
And
same
she is
person.
him?
He
Well,
just
we
puts
did
on the
s-
Richard
well,
Do you ever
III
see them
wig.
in the same room
No,
together?
but who can forget when she was sitting behind him crying her eyes out?
yeah.
Do you remember?
yes, that's true.
And the two of them were in the chamber together then.
But the hand could have been...
And then, bizarrely, the next day, she was all smiles and beaming. She was
Yeah, but her
like,
eyes looked like she'd had, I don't know, something put in them.
That's
Yeah,
because
I
the meds
agree.
had kicked in.
The meds, yeah,
Wow.
that would be that.
always
Now,
the
the other
meds.
reason she's a plank this week, and
Yep.
this will alarm you, because
Oh, Christ.
she's thinking of bringing in a mansion tax, right? Whereby she's going to change the way that you pay tax in your home, and it will be linked to the amount of money that your home is worth.
No, but hold on a second, only if you sell
Yeah.
it.
No. This is not only if you sell it. This is
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you're
yeah.
in it.
Yeah.
This is the problem, right?
Then, sell it now, whatever you can get, all right? And the one down the road.
Seriously, this is what people do. She's killing the housing market, right?
Yeah.
Because what she's going to say is, right, you, Jeremy Kyle, instead of paying your council tax, which is approximately £2,000 a month or whatever it is, right? What you'll now do is pay a portion of how much the value of your house is if you were to sell it, and you will pay that portion every single year. At the moment, I spoke to a guy in London, and again, he's not a wealthy guy. He's got a house, he's thinking of selling it, looking at buying another house. He said to me, "Do you know how much stamp duty I'd be paying if I bought the house that I want to buy? 68,000 quid."
What, so I just bought a
Yeah.
house actually, and exactly the same thing, because you think about stamp duty. But what will happen? I did read this week. He says so, like he's scrabbling. It would take more than one parliament for this to happen.
Yeah. Well, that's
So that obviously tells anybody that's got a house that they don't want to be screwed on, don't vote for the Labour Party.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, she surely can't last beyond November when the budget comes.
I don't
It's
think so.
interesting that you say that she's killing the housing market.
Yeah.
She's killed it already.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And small business.
You know, I mean, unfortunately, my mother passed away last year. We are trying to sell the family home.
Yeah.
Now, even you'd think somebody would come round out of interest
Yeah.
to look at it.
I'll be there tomorrow. I'll be there
Me
tomorrow.
too.
Because
We're going to
turn up.
give you
We'll buy it.
300 quid each. How about that?
I mean, you know,
Hang on, we didn't agree on that.
nobody's come to see.
No, that's
not
just
one
true.
person.
No.
Not one person.
Not one person.
No.
You'd
Wow.
think, oh, I'd quite like to go round and see Terry's house.
Terry Wogan's house.
Yeah.
You need
Nobody.
to ask yourself,
National
why is she doing this, though?
Nobody, even out of sort of interest, wants to come and see.
No.
That's how dead the market
That shows
is.
the amazing state of the economy under Rachel
Nobody
Reeves.
wants to go and see Terry Wogan's house.
Yeah, I know, it's amazing, isn't it? Well,
That
maybe
is kind
after
of
this
bizarre.
you'll get a couple of inquiries.
Well, who knows?
You know,
who knows?
it might be
It's
a-
just in the Buckinghamshire area if you're interested. It's
Things are
lovely.
so
It's very
bad.
reasonable. It's a steal. It's
Yeah.
a steal.
You get a free guide around the house
Yeah,
as
I'll
well.
show you around.
Yeah, brilliant.
Great.
Maybe you could turn it into a migrant hotel.
Yay! Problem solved.
And
I
then
could certainly lease it, rent it out.
give it to Serco.
Get a Serco, yeah.
Give it to Serco.
3-bedroom semi in Buckingham. So
that's
how
what
many could
with
you
a
get in?
tennis
But
courts,
that's what I
swimming
want
pool.
to know about that.
Right.
How much are Serco making on that deal that they
Billions.
are willing to risk being essentially landlords?
underwriting
They're
all that money in
underwriting. That's
advance.
what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, look at
They're
that
the
guy,
landlords.
I can't remember his name, the guy who's called the Hotel King, who went up in the Sunday Times rich list from something like...
Rocco
50
Forte?
Isn't it
No.
Graham?
Yeah, that's
Graham
right.
King?
Graham King, I think it is. Yeah, they call him Hotel King, King of the Hotels, because he started off in the Sunday Times rich list about 56th or something, and now he's like in the top 20, all thanks to taxpayers' money, because he's rented out all his hotels to the government.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
$4 million a day.
He's gone from being a
that what he's
millionaire to
making?
being a billionaire. That's
Yep.
what he's doing.
$4 million a day.
That's where your taxpayer dollars are going,
I think
everyone.
they should stop
Enjoy.
prosecuting people.
Pounds. Stop being
Anyway.
Australian.
Jeremy Kyle, over to you.
I'd like to...
Greenwich Council.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of council stuff this week. This is the Royal Borough of Greenwich. You think would know better. My aunt lives in Greenwich, in West Cornwall.
Nice.
You know the Black Heath above?
Yeah.
Do you know
Yeah.
why it's called Black Heath?
Yes.
Why?
Because they buried all the plague victims there.
You
Exactly.
didn't know that, did you? A bit of English history for you. The Labour Party...
She looks like she did know.
It's the same. It's the same reason. It's the same reason there was no obvious tube line under Battersea Park, because that was a mass grave.
Exactly.
was it?
Yeah.
Right. Wow.
Anyway, welcome back to the History Channel.
Yeah.
It's a very happy day.
Nice.
The Royal Borough of Greenwich. This was a Freedom of Information request by the Brilliant Sun newspaper, who delivered an astonishing article yesterday, or whatever. Council staff were given a 45-page booklet on how they should address people, and this centred on how you should address married women and husband and wife. You can't say husband and wife. That's disrespectful, because that essentially says that you are assuming that a couple are going to be a man and a woman, and literally it could offend people if you identify their gender, and they literally...
Wrongly.
So what do you call them now, then?
What?
So what do they call them now?
People. You can't say good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello,
you
people.
can't use the voice saying ladies and gentlemen at public meetings and
You can
events
say
or
partner.
requesting... Oh, yes. You can't ask somebody for their Christian name, because that would be disrespectful if they don't want to give it. You're going to be more inclusive.
Well, they might not be Christians.
She might just go, oi.
Yeah, they might be
that's
Muslim.
rude.
But
Honestly...
is this also for the purposes of doing... I don't know if they do marriage services in Greenwich Council, but some councils do.
Yeah.
And if you're going to pronounce them man and wife, what happens then?
Yeah.
I don't
Great
know.
question.
Well, registry weddings.
Well,
How are
I
they
did.
doing those?
I've been married a couple of times, and I
Only two?
Thanks.
Yeah.
And we did this on air. My old man, God rest his soul, used to call my mother the War Office or the enemy. I used to, how are you? The War Office is out in the garden pruning. I don't think I'm getting bugger all breakfast today. You know, sort of thing. What did Terry and the late Lady Wogan call each other?
He called her the present Mrs. Wogan.
Brilliant.
That's
Nice.
nice.
That is good.
But I always say I've recently celebrated 22 years married.
Well done.
Congrats.
Oh, wow.
18 of which he spent behind bars, ladies and gentlemen. Let's point that out.
But as I always maintain, if you've been with someone that long, you've been divorced at least twice, it's just nobody left.
Yeah, exactly right.
What do you call the other half?
Carefully.
You see?
Yeah.
Really?
Mike, what did you
Yeah.
call your first wife?
Susan. Her name was Susan.
Right. Hold on. What do you call her now?
I never call her.
Samara, you're heading towards betrothal, aren't you?
But I just call my partner.
Oh, no, you can't say partner.
No, it's not partner.
Husband number one. I mean, there'll be.
Are you engaged to him?
That I know of. There was some.
Engaged with him?
Yeah.
You're engaged with him. What do you call him?
Husband number one.
You call it. What does he call
Husband
you?
number one.
Yeah. Well, he calls
Starter
me wife,
wife?
number one. Yeah, starter wife. Yeah. I mean, you know, these
That's good.
days, probably
Notice-
have about 5 husbands.
There was...
Notice we haven't asked William Geddes,
No.
the Labour, what he calls the wife.
he's got
The
plenty...
long-haired general.
He's got plenty of history. There was a wasn't there, when you did this on your show this week, you had a couple of people who wrote in with some funny ones. Bomber Command was my favourite one. Which
Bomber
was brilliant.
Command,
Bomber
yeah.
Command, and the General was
I mean,
popular.
but you're not allowed. That's where we've got to. All joking apart,
Yeah.
Greenwich Council spent money in a 45-page document that says you can't say, ladies and gentlemen, you can't say husband and wife, you can't say sweetheart, you can't. I tell this story the whole
Babe.
goddamn time about the midwife. We had this on the show
Yeah.
sometime.
Yeah.
You know, she said, well done to this guy. She's been doing it 30 years. Congratulations on a baby boy. They took offence. She got a written warning because she had apparently decided for them the sexuality, rather the gender of their child. The world's gone bloody nuts, man.
Will, over to you. You've got some pub action.
Yeah, so I got a bit of pub action. Am I allowed to actually mention the pub in question?
I think so.
Okay, so the Well and Boot, which is a pub not a million miles away from where we're sitting right now. So not that we're not getting shafted in every other direction possible right now. If you go to this particular establishment, and I'm sure they're not alone, I'm sure
told
there are
it's
plenty
near
of
Waterloo
others.
Station,
Well,
or in Waterloo Station.
indeed.
I don't know it. Why do I not know it?
You don't
probably
know
weird.
a boozer near here.
I know. Shocking. Is that the one downstairs, is it?
I don't know, Michael. I've not
Okay.
been there. All I know.
Not even for research.
Not
I
even
know
for
why he doesn't
research.
know it. It's the last one before the train.
Yeah.
Never remembers it.
But also, I don't get that train. So,
Oh, there we go.
Thank you, Mr. W.
Unless I'm really, really pissed. Sorry.
Anyway,
Where are you going? I've no idea.
I was going to Yorkshire and ended up somehow in Wales. I've no idea what happened. There we go.
well, you're definitely not going to go to this place now.
No.
So what they've decided to do, and this is the bizarre bit, is, as you can imagine, many restaurants in the hospitality business, probably still recovering from the COVID days, are trying to make some money back. But what they're doing is they're putting on a service charge. It's not an obligatory one, it's an optional one, but you get it put on there anyway.
Right.
And it's only if you question it and ask them to take it off that they'll remove it. But it's about 4.5% on any drinks that you purchase from them. Now, here's the catch. Now, you would have thought if you sat at a table and you ordered a drink and someone physically has to come over and bring the drink, Yeah, maybe
might
that's
give them
fair.
some service,
Might
yeah,
be fair.
maybe.
But actually,
Service being the word.
But they're not charging for that.
No.
They're charging if you go to the bar and order it there.
Right.
A tax on self-service.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
That makes no sense.
Yeah.
Because I think
Yeah.
I'm right in saying in France it's the other way around. Because I
It is,
thought
yeah.
out
Yeah,
by that
quite right,
once.
yeah.
I went into a bar and asked for a glass of Pernod, as
Yeah.
you do.
Pernod.
Or Ricard,
Yeah.
if you prefer, if you haven't got that. And you can stand at the bar and drink it, which doesn't cost you any extra money. But if you take it and sit down,
Which is
then,
fair.
then they
Yeah,
charge
I
you
get
more
that
money.
because I got to clean the table,
Yeah.
pick up the glass, the empties, and bring them back.
Exactly.
I get that. But what I find remarkable is we are a country of not tipping, and I wish it would stay that way because we in America,
hate
if you go,
being told what I should tip.
We need to hear
Yes.
from Mark on this because he actually
Mark,
is in the
you are the
restaurant business.
hospitality man.
Well, I would imagine
Go on.
they are charging, they are charging that extra money because they can't make any bleeding money doing what
Yeah,
they
exactly.
do anymore.
But they're not going to make any now by doing that, are they?
Because Richard III keeps adding extra things into the pot,
No, I agree.
which means their margin just falls and falls and falls. One of my favourite questions to ask anyone in the industry of hospitality is how many months of the year or even weeks do you make money?
Yes.
And the answer is usually 2.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Wow.
weeks, sometimes months. The rest of the year, the only people who are making money is the Treasury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually
But then
got something that I should have read out a bit earlier on. I'm
Yeah,
going
go
to do
for it.
now.
Yeah.
These are the taxes that are currently levied upon us, the British public, right?
Great.
Have a listen to this.
Yep.
Income tax, national insurance,
Yep.
value-added tax, council tax, fuel duty, vehicle excise duty, capital gains tax, inheritance tax, stamp duty, land tax, air passenger duty, corporation tax, dividend tax, alcohol duty, tobacco duty, insurance premium tax, climate change levy, landfill tax, aggregates levy, betting and gaming duties, customs duties, soft drinks industry levy, digital services tax, stamp duty reserve tax, plastic packaging tax, congestion charge, business rates, television licence fee tax.
Unbelievable.
Question, Mike. Can I ask
shocking.
I mean, you can understand why people are moving to Dubai.
I'm amazed anybody's
and to
got any
other
money at all.
tax-free zones.
You rattled through that. Can I still fart for free?
No, not in here. You have to
Carbon
pay me
emissions.
to do that.
I mean, when you think of the taxes
What
that we
happened to
make,
the other sleeve of her dress if you let go one? The whole thing could fall off. It'd be an absolute nightmare.
But
Next week, the other sleeve
if
will be
it's
gone.
still tax-free,
Yeah.
I think we should fire away. Our gun is our own.
Well, you've
Yeah.
got 9
Why
pubs
not?
closing every week at the moment.
Yeah, that's right.
200 in the last year, right? Or,
Something
yeah.
like I think it's 2,000 in the last
I
year.
think
Yeah,
it's
sorry,
appalling.
2000
It's
last year. Yeah,
2000.
that's what I saw. So
It's
yeah,
appalling.
make it make
is.
sense.
Yeah, it is ridiculous, isn't it?
It doesn't
We
make
just
And I
can't
thought you made
squeeze-
the really, really good point when you said we seem to be being taxed more and more.
Yeah.
And yet our government has less and less bloody money.
Yeah.
What are they doing with
Question,
it?
what the hell are they doing
Well,
with
if they
it?
haven't
Well,
given
3
it
billion's going to Ukraine.
Well, they've given
Yeah.
it billions to
Forever.
Ukraine. Several billion a year going to the migrants, right?
Yeah.
The rest
Oh,
of it.
and the Mauritians, they're all right. They're not paying income
Mauritians,
tax.
They don't pay,
Yeah.
they don't pay any income tax anymore in Mauritius because we gave them a load of money. And also, of course, let's not forget the feckless and the people who don't bother doing any work. There's 9 million people who are on the dole, effectively, in this country. So
Because
I'm sorry.
they're all mentally ill and disabled.
Yeah, sure. Of course they are. Anyway, we're going to come back with a story about a woman who writes for the BBC. Apparently she's going to give all her money away.
Arrest
to
her!
The Palestine Action Brigade. And also a bit of Shakespeare for you as well. It's all coming next.
Live from London, it's Plank of the Week with Mike Graham.
Welcome back to Plank of the Week. We're nearly towards the final back end of the show. So who better to lead
The
us
arse
on?
end of the
Yeah,
show.
well, you might say that, but that would be rude. Samara, over to you.
Basically, Sally Rooney, who is much more popular with, I would say, sort of people under 30. She's this very woke writer who sort of writes about how terrible it is to be a millennial and the human experience.
No relation to Wayne.
No.
just checking.
Oh, yes. I understand that
Yeah,
reference.
whose Match of the Day debut didn't go as well as everybody thought it would.
And I'll tell you
correct.
why.
You know.
I'll tell you why.
Oh, I
He
wanna
was
hear
very
this.
disappointed by the lack of food in the green room. That's what I think was going on. I think he was hangry. That's what was going on.
absolutely
To be
right.
fair.
Anyway, back to Sally.
She's pledged all her earnings, at least from the BBC.
Oh, from the BBC,
to support a terrorist group, prescribed terrorist organisation, which is called Palestine Action, which I'm sure a lot of our viewers are really familiar with and listeners. And Sally Rooney, I mean, she doesn't get to pick and choose who she supports. She thinks that this is some radical act of leftist self-love. It's really not. It's dangerous. And because it's coming from BBC money, it's actually coming from the taxpayers' purse.
And she's able to do it. She wrote Normal People, which I didn't see. I don't know if any of you did, but I don't watch that kind of stuff. Yeah, I know it was a big show, Chuck. Thank you. The point is that, I didn't watch it because I'm not interested in Sally Rooney.
It's because we're not normal.
And, not normal people either.
No, we don't like normal
people. You should watch Plank of the Week at the weekends, anyway.
Why would one watch... No,
but she lives in Ireland as well, which is true, because she actually said that if she came to Britain to say what she said, she would be arrested. And she now says that she won't be able to come to Britain to do anything because she could technically be arrested for funding a terrorist organisation.
Yep, good.
But here's the story. Anyway, so we'll have a look at this.
Normal People became a cultural phenomenon and is just one of the acclaimed works that made Sally Rooney among the most celebrated authors of her generation. She's now, however, making headlines for very different reasons, openly backing the proscribed group Palestine Action. Writing in the Times, she said, "If this makes me a supporter of terror under UK law, so be it."
Sorry, so be it. Isn't those the same words used by Lucy Connolly shortly before she was locked up?
Yeah. Correct.
She said...
Totally right.
If this makes me a racist, then so be it.
This is nothing but a cash grab for Sally. Well, this is a cash grab for Sally. She knows that her audience is all about, so they are all, I can tell you, these middle-class, Palestine-obsessed, blue-haired millennial people. And she just knows that her coming out and supporting them is a massive business move for her. It's going to pay, they're going to all buy her books and feel sorry for her plight.
Right.
That's what it's about.
It'll probably get her a Netflix deal as well.
Oh, absolutely,
So it is, you're quite
I did
right.
see Normal People. There was a lot of sex in it.
Was there?
Yeah, there's a lot. And it's
There's nothing normal about that.
No, normal people don't have sex. Sorry, do we sound married?
Yeah, there's a lot of anyway, I can't. Anyway.
But you can tell, and I mean, we'll be accused of what do you call it? I don't know, what ism is it? When you look at somebody, you just go, I just know I wouldn't like her.
Tosserism?
Tosserism, is it? Yeah. I don't know. I can just say that I can know that if I walked into a room and she was in it, she would instantly hate me and I'd instantly hate her.
I don't have a problem, genuinely. You're so right, Mikey. I don't have a problem with anybody having a different view. What she looks like is what so many of the ideologues, as I call them, on the left look like. Yeah. They look supercilious. They look like their opinion is the only one that matters. And the worst thing, I think, is it's a bit like the government. They think they know what the majority of British people think. They don't.
They don't.
They're divorced
they
from
really
reality.
Don't. We've got to move on,
She looks like she's doing a tax-free fart in that picture.
Very possibly so. Anyway, over to you, Mark, on that subject.
Let's hope you remember the name of what you're talking about this time.
Listen, we are all... Hold on.
Savage.
Plank of the week.
Plank of the week, and you
Jeremy, I am Mike, Samara, and William Geddes.
Excellent. That's better. I'm back in the room. Now, we all like a bit of culture around here, don't we?
We do.
We're all what we would describe as worldly people.
Yes.
Speak for yourself.
Well, all right. I'll speak for me. I like a bit of Shakespeare. I like to see it performed. But do I need a trigger warning before watching Shakespeare? So they are putting on Hamlet at the National. It says this production contains themes of grief and death.
Grief and death.
Wow.
Really?
And death.
Including suicide and the loss of a parent. Depictions of madness, violence and coercive pain. It's a complete... They've spoiled the whole plot.
Plot
It's a plot spoiler.
So what happens at the end? Somebody kills themselves.
Look, really sorry,
point
you
going.
might want to watch Hamlet, but everyone dies in the end.
Yeah.
If you haven't
I think
seen
we've got the trailer. See if this is any more easy to explain.
We all ask ourselves that question in the mirror from time to time.
Even that is being bastardised, isn't it? In it. Sunglasses.
And
we've got to warn everybody that somebody might get obsessed or upset or angry.
But what's interesting about this is a piece of text or play that has been taught in schools from time immemorial. Yeah. And has anybody come... Look, you know what? I came out of school traumatised because they made me read Hamlet.
Better not go and see Macbeth.
What is wrong with people that they go...
I don't know.
Has somebody recently gone to see Hamlet, left and gone, Well, you didn't tell me it was going to be like that.
Yes, and frighteningly, probably somebody has.
And then someone at the National heard that story and went, we should probably put something in the programme.
It's ridiculous.
Imagine the trigger warning for this.
I know. We'll probably have to do one soon. Listen, we're nearly finished. Coming up, one final nomination for me, plus a special mention. We've been doing this for quite a few weeks now. We quite like doing it. This is Plank of the Week, and back after this.
Live from London, it's Plank of the Week with Mike Graham.
Welcome back to our Plank of the Week. We're very nearly in the final furlong. Just before my final nomination, we have a special mention. She got actually mentioned last week in Plank of the Week. It is the one and only former First Minister of Scotland, Ms. Nicola Sturgeon. She's just been doing a fashion. She's been doing a fashion shoot, right?
She's fallen over,
and I believe this was in the Sunday Times. I think at the weekend,
Christ,
Sunday Times magazine,
awesome.
and a very fine organ it is too. But here she is.
Let me out!
She's going, let me out. She looks like she's hiding behind the window there. There's a very odd one where she's lying back.
I know you think I'm Jimmy Cranky, but let me come up the stairs, please!
No.
No, don't do that!
This one looks like she's got a lightsaber coming out of her crotch.
Do you know what? I was literally, that's how good you are.
Good.
I was literally, I wonder whether she's going to...
Bravo, sir, bravo.
Well, yeah. From a rug to a carpet, because Keir Starmer is my final nomination, and it kind of speaks for itself. He's so boring, this guy. He manages to go over to America. He makes a little speech on the plane where he says exactly the same thing as he then says again to Donald Trump in the White House sort of briefing room.
What, the exits as to the front
and
the
then
rear?
he comes out, goes to the British Embassy, says exactly the same thing, and it makes out like he had something to do with the fact that Vladimir Putin might be meeting with Volodymyr Zelensky and Donald Trump, and not him, right? But this is what he said. This is him boring Trump to death. Have a look.
The war in Ukraine has had a huge impact, particularly on the Ukrainians who've borne the brunt of it.
Totally.
Georgia Meloni's just playing with her hair.
I'm
She's
really
like,
shocked that the Ukrainian conflict has had a lot of impact on the Ukrainians.
Yeah.
Most of all, and I hope you're going to say this, all of this with a bloody great spot or his dinner.
I was about to come to that. He's got basically herpes simplex B on his bottom lip.
That holiday's getting rowdy.
He's got a cold sore,
You sure
right?
Mrs. Starmer didn't beat him up?
But what we do know in this business is if you've got a blemish of some kind and you're going to go on the camera, you get it sort of covered up, don't you? As I said on my show this week, this is the only thing that he hasn't covered up since he's been Prime Minister, because he's covered everything else up.
Bravo, sir. Bravo.
But you know what, Mike? You describing him saying the same thing and turning up just on the edges. My son and his mates have a term for someone like that. They're called a scrape.
A scrape.
And
I like it.
Because I went, what's a scrape? They're always trying to scrape in on the action.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he does.
That's great.
That's exactly what he does. And of course, I had my usual once a week row with Dan Hodges this week as well. This one was particularly good because I managed to get him to admit that he really, really, really wants us to go to World War III. Have a look. What's your remedy then? Do we declare war on them? Have World War III? Is that what you want to do?
Well, ultimately, if Russia is going to keep invading people, then yes.
Yes. Well, you want World War III. Dan Hodges wants World War III. Page 1, tomorrow morning, Daily Mail. Let's have World War III. Are you going to send your kids out to fight for you?
Well, Mike.
Oh, you've gone mad, Dan. He has
You're
indeed.
so mean to Dan.
I know.
Great.
I've literally groomed him into this position now. Right? I've groomed him into this position. You know.
That is what the left wants, though. They do want 5,000 people a week dying.
Yeah.
And it's devilish, honestly. It's a really devilish position to have. It's horrible. I'm glad you got that out of him.
It is, absolutely right. I'm of a mind to go for the flag betrayers, the people who want to get rid of the flags in this country, which, of course, is Jeremy Carl's nomination, Tower Hamlets. But we could probably add Birmingham in for good measure.
I think the flag thing really got it. I think if we haven't nominated Epping because I think the people of Epping should get the reverse of Plank. I think they should be heroes of the week.
They should, absolutely right. But I think definitely the big story of the week, apart from Epping, is the flags, because that's going to continue as well. And there's going to be people, even as we speak, as they're watching this on Friday night, they're going to be out putting flags up.
And in all
once this
starts on Monday, doesn't it?
Once something like this starts, a kind of grassroots movement.
And you know the guy we saw on GMB, the disrespect. Everybody that supports that flag is far right. No, they're not. They're British people who want to support.
They're British people. Yeah. So Plank of the Week, Tower Hamlets Council, Birmingham Council as well. Absolutely ridiculous. Thank you very much to Jeremy, to Will, to Samara, and to Mark. We'll be back same time next week with more Plankery.